Good morning. Today we are continuing with our discussion on object-oriented concepts. Object-oriented concepts in the previous lecture, we have been discussing what are objects and what are classes. That means you have a class and instance of a class is an object. A class is having a set of properties and associated with that a set of functions or methods are there. And as far as an object is concerned, the object is an instance of a class. For example, suppose that you have a student class, and if you are generating an object, then that means a particular student has got a particular name, and the instance of the class is that student object. For example, suppose that you have some XYZ, the name of the student is XYZ, that means that XYZ, that student XYZ is an instance of the student class. Okay. Now, the third property is abstraction. Abstraction. What do you mean by abstraction? That means an abstract object means abstraction hiding the implementation details. Hiding the implementation details from the user. Suppose that you have a particular object, say, suppose that you have a fridge, or you have a TV or washing machine or whatever it be. So you have you have a switch, and when you put on the switch, the the system will be on. Okay, that means how it is working. That means implementation of that switch is not aware of the user. That means that implementation detail is hidden from the user. Okay, when you are using a remote or something like that, then using a remote you can control a TV or washing machine. Okay, then the implementation, that means the user of that particular object. User of that particular object. For example, TV or washing machine is an object, and that object has a lot of functions. That object has a number of functions, and the user of that object need only know what are the functions he can use. The inner details he is not aware of, or he is not intended, or it is hidden from the end user. The user need to know only the functions provided by that object, and once you know how to use that, then you can use that object. That means the implementation details of the object is hidden from the user. Likewise, suppose that you have a student object. Say, suppose that you have a student class, and as you know, student class has a number of properties. For example, date of birth, then name, then roll number. Suppose that this is date of birth and this is the class name student, and suppose that get DOB, I'm going to have a function like that. Get DOB is a function. That means just like a switch in a TV, here this is a function, and if you want to know the date of birth of this particular student, you need only know the function associated with that. That means get date of birth means if you have an object, and when for that object, if you call this method, then it will return the date of birth of that particular student. Okay, that means here these data are private data, and these are hidden from the end user. Okay, suppose that somebody is using this object, or you are creating an object. Say, I am going to have an instance of this. Say, this is an instance, and this is an object Anil, and the name is Anil, then roll number is 1001 and date of birth is 20/5/1973, and suppose that you have get DOB function here. Then once you have created this, all these details, all the properties of this ANIL, by default these are private data and you can access those data only using these functions. That means you don't have, that means here you have an object ANIL and these are the private properties of this object ANIL, and those details can be available to the outside world only through these functions. Suppose that if they have provided a function like this, that means the writer or designer of this class, if he wants to give date of birth to the outside world, then he is here the designer may give a function or method like this, that means get DOB, just like a switch in a TV. That means using this get DOB, you can access the date of birth of this ANIL. Okay, so once you have an object, it is communicating the real world using these methods. If you want to access some details of a particular object, then if they are providing a function like this, then it is very easy to use that. That means in simpler terms, abstraction means you have an abstract object. This is abstract object student, and these details are hidden from the user, and this abstract object is having get DOB as a function, and how this get DOB function is executed, that is hidden from the user. Once you give get DOB function, then automatically that will return the date of birth of ANIL. Okay, so the implementation details are hidden from the user. Suppose that you are going to create a student class, and in your program, suppose that if you want to access the date of birth of ANIL, then you just give get DOB of ANIL. Get DOB of ANIL. That means how the system implement that is hidden from the user. That means hiding the implementation details. That means user of a TV need not know the repair of that TV. You are using a computer. Then when you are using a computer with the features which you want, or a mobile, everybody is having a mobile, and the user of that mobile need only know how to operate it. There is no need for the end user to repair that. Need not study the repairing of that. Just like that, if you have some button, then when you are pressing that button, then some function it will do, and the implementation details are hidden from the user. That is called abstraction. And now next point is, that means we have already discussed objects, classes, abstraction. Now encapsulation. Encapsulation means an object you treat as a capsule. That means it has got a name, it has a set of properties, and associate that a set of functions. Then these three, that means name, the properties, and associated that you have a set of methods or functions. These three collectively forms a capsule, and that is called encapsulation. That means if you have a class, then that class is it is encapsulated. This is like a capsule form. That means these three things. That means name, class name, then the properties and the functions are encapsulated in a just like you have. That means encapsulation means binding a set of properties, and methods in a class. That means you have a set of properties and you have a set of methods, and these methods use this set of properties to accomplish some task, and this binding that means this collectively forms a capsule, and that is why we call it as encapsulated. And now the next property is inheritance. Next property is inheritance. Inheritance means in your object-oriented programming, you have a set of classes, and you can derive classes from the parent class. For example, suppose that you are inheriting somebody in our day-to-day life in the real world. You are inheriting some properties of your parent. Okay, so here in the case of Java doesn't support multiple inheritance, single inheritance. That means here suppose that you have a class. This is a class A. This is a class A, just like a student, and you can derive a class from this. That means A has some properties and some methods associated with that, and if you are deriving a class B from class A, then this B is inheriting all the properties of A except the private data of this private data. That means that we will discuss later. Anyway, you can create a class from the base class. This A is called base class, and this is called derived class. The details of all this inheritance, etc., inheritance role, we'll discuss later. Anyway, you can derive a subclass from a parent class, and while inheritance or while creating a subclass from the parent class, this child class or derived class is inheriting all except some properties of A. That means private property is not inherited. That will discuss later. Anyway, inheritance means can create a subclass from the parent class. This is called the base class. Now the next one is polymorphism. Polymorphism means polymorphism in the sense, suppose that you have an add function. That means add, and nothing is passed on to this add. Suppose that another function with the same name, add a comma b. You have another function, add a comma b. Then you have another function, add a comma b comma c. So these are the three functions you have defined in a class, and depending on the number of variables, if nothing is given, then this add will be executed. If you have two inputs, that means if you are passing two parameters to this add, then it will add a and b, and suppose that this add function is a assigned equal to a plus b, and suppose that this is c assigned equal to a plus b, and this is doing nothing. Okay, this is the body. That means when this simple add is executed, what will happen? It is not doing anything. That means it is doing nothing. When add with two parameters, then the first parameter is assigned a plus b. That means these two are added, and that is assigned to a. And add ABC means C assigned equal to A plus B. That means polymorphism means when you are calling that add function, depending on the number of variables you are passing, it will invoke any one of these three. If you have three variables you are passing or three parameters you are passing, then it will execute this. If you two parameters are passed, then that will execute this. And if nothing is passed on to add, that will execute this. Okay, that means that depending on the number of variables, or you can have different different methods with the same name, can have different methods the same name. That means here you have add and same add. That means these three functions are having the same name, but all these are performing different set of operations. Okay, that means polymorphism means uh, same name doing different things. Okay, that means when you are adding this, say inside this, say return a. Suppose that when this add function is called, it is returning a. When this add function is called, a is equal to a plus b. When this add function is executed, c is equal to a plus b. That means same method or same function name, and depending on the number of variables you are passing, all these methods with the same name perform different operations. Okay, so these are the important concepts as far as object orientation is concerned. Object oriented concept is concerned. These are the main concepts: objects, classes, abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. All these things we'll discuss later in detail. And in our subject, in our object oriented programming, we are going to discuss all these concepts based on Java. Okay, so with this I am going to conclude this session. Thank you.